Hello students, happy morning. Class 12 Physics Unit 6 Ray Optics continuation video. Here in today's class, let we see a topic acceptance angle in optical fiber. We know optical fiber is a medium used to transmit light signal from one place to another without any loss. Okay. Here the optical fiber consists of two parts. One is inner part, that is known as core, and the outer part is known as cladding. We know the refractive index of the core is greater than the refractive index of the cladding. Here the optical fiber work on the phenomenon of total internal reflection. We know total internal reflection, that means if the light travels from denser to rarer medium, if the angle of incidence in the denser medium is greater than the critical angle, at that instant there is no refraction. All the light will be reflected back into the denser medium. That is known as total internal reflection. Okay. To ensure the critical angle of incidence in the core cladding boundary, okay, inside the optical fiber, the light should be incident on the end of the optical fiber at a particular angle, that is known as acceptance angle. Okay. See, first of all, I consider a optical fiber. Here this is optical fiber. The inner part is known as core and the outer part, that is known as cladding. This is also cladding. Here this is outer medium. Okay. Here we know the refractive index of the core. Here I consider that one as N1 and the cladding, that is N2. Okay. And the outer medium, that is N3. Here it is a refractive index N1, it is N2, here also N2, this is N3. Okay. We have to ensure the critical angle in the core cladding interface. So we have to incident the light on the end of the optical fiber, okay, at an angle that is known as acceptance angle. Okay. First of all, I incident a light at an angle called acceptance angle in the outer medium and the core interface. Okay. This is known as acceptance angle, indicated as IA. Then after that it will refract. This is a refracted ray in core medium, but it is a instant ray for this two medium. Okay. It instant at the point. Here the angle of instance, that is equal to critical angle. At that instant we know it will trace the boundary of the core cladding interface. Okay. So the refraction here it is 90 degree. Okay. Here it is RA. It is IA, it is RA. I am joining these two normals and I meet at a point. Here it is considered as C. First refraction at A and the second refraction at B. Okay. Here we know the refractive index of the core, that is greater than cladding, that is greater than N3, that is outer medium. Okay. Core have the more refractive index comparing with the cladding. Cladding have the more refractive index comparing with the outer medium. Okay. This is the end of the optical fiber. Okay. To ensure critical angle in core cladding interface, I am sending instant the light ray in the outer medium core interface at an angle that is known as acceptance angle. Here this acceptance angle depends on the refractive index of the core cladding and the outer medium. Okay. Here there is a refraction at the point A. So we can apply Snell's law in product form. Refraction at A, then apply Snell's law. in product form. That is, we know n1 sin I is equal to n2 sin R. Okay, here the first medium is n3. See, light coming from this medium alone. So first medium is n3 and the second medium is n2. That is behave as n1. Okay, see, n1 became n3 and sin I. Here instant angle of instance is IA. That is acceptance angle. That is equal to n2 is n1. Then sin RA. Okay, here I consider this one as equation 1. Okay, then there is a one more refraction at point B. Okay, refraction at B. At B, here also I am applying Snell's law in product form. That we know, that is n1 sin I is equal to n2 sin R. Okay, here the first medium is n1 and the second medium is n2, and the angle of incidence is IC and the angle of refraction is 90 degree. Okay, then we can write I is equal to IC, then R is equal to 90 degree. Okay, substitute in this expression, then it became n1 sin IC is equal to n2 sin 90 degree. Sin 90, that is 1. Then we can write n1 sin IC is equal to n2. So sin IC is equal to n2 by n1. Okay, here I consider a right angle triangle ABC. Right angle triangle ABC. Okay, ABC. Here I draw that A, that is C, here it is B, this is IA. Okay, this is IC, this is 90 degree. Okay, here we know very well the summation of the angle in a triangle will be equal to 180 degree. Okay, so we can write IC plus IA plus, sorry, that is RA. Okay, RA plus 90 degree, that is equal to 180 degree. Okay, from this we can write IC is equal to 90 minus RA. Okay, here I write sin 90, sorry, substitute IC in the expression. Sin IC is equal to n2 by n1. Then we get sin 90 minus RA. Okay, then we get n2 by n1. We know sin 90 minus theta, that is equal to cos theta. Okay, sin 90 minus theta is cos theta. Then sin 90 minus RA is equal to cos RA is equal to n2 by n1. Okay, and also we know sin square theta plus cos square theta is equal to 1. So we can write sin theta is equal to root of 1 minus cos square theta. Okay, so I substitute here sin RA is equal to root of 1 minus cos square RA. Okay, here cos square RA is n2 by n1. Then sin RA is equal to root of 1 minus cos became n2 square by n1 square. Okay, simplifying this, then we get sin RA is equal to root of n1 square minus n2 square by overall root. Okay, n1 square. Then substitute this sin RA in the equation 1. Okay, substitute sin RA in equation 1. we know the equation 1, that is n3 sin Ia is equal to n1 sin Ra. Equation 1, that implies n3 sin Ia is equal to n1 sin Ra. Okay, substitute sin Ra here, then we get n3 sin Ia is equal to n1 sin Ra, that became root of n1 square minus n2 square by n1 square. Okay, on simplifying this, n3 sin Ia is equal to n1 cancelled, then we get root of n1 square minus n2 square. Okay, here sin Ia can be written as overall root of n1 square minus n2 square by n3 whole square. Okay, because square and root going to cancel, then we get this term alone. Okay, we can write sin Ia is equal to root of n1 square minus n2 square by n3 whole square. Okay, here we know the outer medium. Having the refractive index n3, that is equal to 1 because it is air medium. Okay, so we can write Ia is equal to sine inverse of, we need Ia alone. Okay, here I write Ia is equal to sine inverse of root of n1 square minus n2 square by n3 whole square. Okay, here n3 became 1, it became root of n1 square minus n2 whole square. Here the angle of instance. Okay, see, here the angle of instance is from 0 degree to Ia from the normal at the end of this optical fiber, that forming a cone that is known as acceptance cone. Okay, see, suppose here I drawn like this, that is known as acceptance cone. Then we can write this equation. Okay, consider this one as equation 2. Equation 2 can be written as n3 sin Ia is equal to root of n1 square minus n2 square. Okay, here n3 sin Ia, that is known as numerical aperture. n3 sin Ia is equal to numerical aperture. Numerical aperture, that means it is nothing but a number that characterizes the range of angle over which the system can accept or emit light. Numerical aperture is a number that characterizes the range of angle over which the light will that means the system will allow the light, okay, or accept the light. Then we write this one as numerical aperture Na is equal to root of n1 square minus n2 square. Okay, let me see a short recap of this topic. Acceptance angle, that is the angle of incidence in the end of the optical fiber. Okay, to ensure critical angle in a core Leydig interface. Acceptance angle is a angle of incidence in a outer medium or the end of the optical fiber to ensure critical angle in a core Leydig interface inside the optical fiber. Okay, here we need to find Ia. Here Ia is acceptance angle. For that there will be angle of refraction in core, that is Ra. At acceptance angle, the angle of incident in a core Leydig interface is IC, so the refracted ray will be graces the boundary, so R became 90 degree. Here the condition is the refractive index of the core is greater than refractive index of the Leydig, that is greater than refractive index of the outer medium. Okay, then here the refraction is at A and B, so we can apply Snell's law at the point A and B. Okay, Then applying this, then we get n3 sin Ia is equal to n1 sin Ra at point A. Then there will be a refraction at B. At that point we applied the Snell's law, then we get sin Ic is equal to n2 by n1. Here we need Ia alone. Okay, so we can solve the equation 1. We need Ra term only, but I have sin Ic. Here sin Ic became sin Ra by considering the right angle triangle ABC. Okay, then for that we get cos Ra is equal to n2 by n1. We need sin Ra. Okay, we are changing the sin cos Ra into sin Ra by applying this formula, sin square theta plus cos square theta is equal to 1. We need sin theta, then we can write sin theta is equal to root of 1 minus cos square theta. Okay, substitute in these terms, then we get sin Ra. Substitute this one in the equation 1, then we get here, this is the actual form. We need Ia alone. Okay, this part is known as numerical aperture. Numerical aperture is a number that characterizes the range over which the system can accept or emit light. Okay, then we get finally Ia is equal to sin inverse of root of n1 square minus n2 square. Here the acceptance angle depends on refractive index of the core, cladding and the outer medium. Okay, our next topic, that is refraction in glass slab. Okay, we know a light travel from rarer to denser medium, it will bend towards the normal, and it will travel from denser to rarer medium, it will bend away from the normal. Okay, here I consider a glass slab. Of thickness T. Okay, here there is a instant light at the point B. The ray is named as AB. It is an instant ray. Here it is a normal N1. Okay, it will refract its path towards the normal. Okay, then I am extending the instant light. Okay, here it is an instant ray for this medium, it will bend away from the normal. Okay, here this point is considered as C. This is angle of incidence I, this is angle of refraction R. Okay, here we can write this angle and this angles are alternate interior angles, so we can write this one as R. Okay, see, here it is a vertical opposite angle, so this is equal to I, so we can write this alone can be written as I minus R. Okay, then after I drawn a perpendicular line on the instant ray, that is named as CE. Okay, this length will be equal to this gap between the instant and deviated light ray. Okay, it is a deviated light ray, it is a instant ray or undeviated ray. The length between the two rays will be L, that is known as lateral shift. L is a lateral shift. Okay, in order to find L, what is the length between the instant ray and the deviated light ray? That means instant ray and the refracted light ray. Okay, here see, the two rays are in the same direction. Okay, but there is only change in path. Okay, here I consider a right angle triangle. Right angled triangle, that is B, then C, then E. Okay, B, C, E. B, C, E, this is 90 degree. Okay, here this angle is I minus R. For this triangle I consider sin theta. Sin I minus r, sin theta is equal to opposite side, that is CE by hypotenuse. Here hypotenuse is BC. Okay, then next we can write this one as BC is equal to CE by sin I minus r. Okay, here I am extending this normal. It meet at a point that is F. Okay, BFC. I consider one more triangle, that is right angle triangle. Right angle triangle, that is BFC. Okay, for that triangle I consider cos theta. This is the triangle, 90 degree. This we know, that is R, this is C, this is B, this is F. Okay, cos R, that is equal to adjacent side by hypotenuse. Adjacent side is BF, hypotenuse is BC. Then we can write BC is equal to BF by cos R. Okay, this is equation 1, this is equation 2, equating 1 and 2. Then we get CE by cos I minus R equal to BF by cos R. We know CE, that is known as lateral shift, that is indicated as L. CE is equal to L. This perpendicular length will be equal to the length L, that is a lateral shift. Okay, so we can write CE as L and BF, that is as BF is the thickness of the glass slab, that is T. Substitute in the above expression, then we get L by cos, sorry, that is sin. Okay, L by sin I minus R, that is equal to T by cos R. Okay, rearranging this, then we get, we need L alone. L is equal to T sin I minus R by cos R. Okay, here L, the lateral shift, that depends on thickness of the glass slab, angle of incidence, angle of refraction. Okay, and also it depends on the refractive index of the glass slab. Okay, because the refractive index increases, the angle of refraction also increases. Okay, L increases with the thickness increases, or angle of incidence increases, or the refractive index increases. Okay, these are the terms that will change the lateral shift. Okay, lateral shift, that is a distance between the incident ray and the deviated light ray. Okay, here AB is a incident ray that is in the air medium. Okay, here the glass medium have the refractive index n. Here it is air medium, that is 1. It will instant on the point B on the boundary of glass and the air medium. Okay, at that point it will deviate its path towards the normal, because it will travel from rarer to denser medium. Okay, after that it reach the point C. At that instant it will deviate its path away from the normal, because it travel from denser to rarer medium. It is angle of incidence, here it is angle of refraction. Okay, here I extending the incident ray, because of vertical opposite angle, we can write this angle as I. Okay, we need this alone, then we can write I minus R. Here this is R, so this also R, because of alternate angles are equal. Okay, then after I drawn a perpendicular line on the incident ray, that is CE. That CE is equal to lateral shift. We need to find the lateral shift. Okay, for that I consider two right angle triangles. One is BCE, another one is BFC. For BCE I consider sin theta. For BCF I consider cos R. Okay, cos theta. After that we found the relation, that is T is equal to T sin I minus r by cos r. The lateral shift that depends on thickness, angle of incidence, angle of refraction as well as refractive index of the glass medium. Okay, thank you.